Hey everybody, it's Queen Jelly here, and I want to wish everyone a happy Pride and a welcome to or a welcome back to the Toy Box. I do apologize if I'm a little off today. I am fighting the end of a cold, but I was just so excited about today's doll that I could not wait any longer to get filming. Originally, I wasn't going to be on camera at all, but it just didn't feel right to start my video that way anymore, so I'm just going to give a quick intro and a quick tiny update that doesn't really affect too much, but I just want to make everyone aware. I'm going to attempt a no by June. This is in no way meant to punish myself, so if there's some sort of one-time drop or some special sale that I see that I really have been waiting for, I will go ahead and still pick that up, but I'm attempting to just kind of save a little bit of money because I do have a lot of orders already kind of in the works. I have some pre-orders from Kika Goods as well as several pay laters going that I would like to pay those off before I buy any new dolls. So I probably won't be getting any new play line for the month. Unfortunately, it does mean I'm gonna have to wait a little bit longer to get the Scary Sweet dolls, but for now, I did get the Welcoming Committee Frankie, which is super exciting. I ordered them the day that they dropped, and they came in the next day, and I wanted to get this video out for June 1st, so I'm actually filming it on the 31st, so hopefully I have enough time to film and edit this, and that's why I'm just kind of going with it. Like I said, they kind of snuck in at the end of May, so I was able to buy them. I don't know about y'all, but I didn't know that this doll was dropping when they did. I don't know if you saw my last Frankie video, but I was literally making comments about how much I wanted this doll that was supposed to come out last June and didn't come out. So I'm super excited that they're here now, which is why I'm glad that they came out before the end of the month. So I think that's all that I have to say for now, though, because like I said, I'm not feeling super great, so I just want to go ahead and go straight into the unboxing. If you're interested in particular parts of the video, don't forget to use the timeline down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the videos. Especially something as simple as a like can really change the trajectory of the channel, so I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you on the desk. So just for your information, I did pay $32.49 for this doll on Amazon. They're currently an Amazon exclusive, and I did not know that they were coming out. Again, I don't know if other people did. I've kind of been lost over in the world of ball jointed dolls at the moment and kind of blind box content, so I haven't really been paying attention too much to Monster High releases, but they kind of surprised me when the Monster High Instagram posted that these had come out. So I went to Amazon themselves, and when you search Amazon for Welcome Committee Frankie, they do not come up. However, I will be sharing the link in my comment section if you are interested in getting them, because the only way I was able to find them was the link via the Instagram post. So I will be sharing that link down below so that you guys can get them if you are interested. As of filming on, again, May 31st, they are still available. But like I said, this is a doll that I've been waiting a long time for. They were released, or originally scheduled to be released last June. I was one of the people that had them pre-ordered, and then that pre-order got canceled on me. So I'm just so glad to finally have them in my hands, especially if you, like I said, watched the Frankie video where I opened this one. I was talking about how I'd seen people be getting them as a replacement doll and not necessarily finding them as a purchasable doll. So I was a little concerned, but I'm glad to finally have them in my hands. Go ahead and look at the back of the box where it says Welcoming Committee. As the Welcoming Committee leader at Monster High, Frankie makes the new ghouls in school feel right at home by encouraging self-expression through fashion and friendship. Now, this box, as you can see, is a little bit different than the standard box for a Monster High doll. My belief is that because it does say up here in the corner, if you can kind of see Cleo and Frankie's eyes up here, it does say poster included, and there is a small poster down here, but I believe that there might be a slightly larger one in the back, which would explain like the shape of the box. I could be wrong, but typically if it says something like poster included, then that means that there's an invisible item and they're not just referring to this down here. because I think this is meant to be more the doll scale one, even though it is quite large. And then we have some snacks, and then the doll themselves, as well as this beautiful artwork of Frankie down here. So pretty standard with the symbols on the side. Those are just the typical Frankie symbols, and then the top just says Monster High. And then again, there is their barcode, which you may be able to use that to search on Amazon as well. But like I said, I will be putting the link down below in the description. All right, time to get to unboxing. So I will say it's crazy to just finally have them in hand after all this time. And I think they are super stunning, as always. Frankie just pulls off like every look that they put them in. Other than with Toralei, and we all know my gripes with Toralei, just the G3 designers just know their characters so well and know how to design for their characters. And I think it shows. And I think Frankie was the right choice, obviously, for a somewhat pride-themed doll. Obviously, they try to hide it behind, like, the welcoming committee aspect of it. But, like, we all know that that was the point of this doll. All right, so now that we have Frankie out of the box, we'll go ahead and go over everything that they come with. If something is familiar to me, I will go ahead and point it out, because I did reuse a lot of sculpts in this design, which is perfectly fine. It's just something to be aware of. So for this backpack, as far as I can tell, is actually the same mold as the core Frankie, the original one, not the refresh. This time, though, it is in a clear white with sparkles on it, and then this amazing rainbow lightning bolt on the front with a skelette, and then the same charm that has a lightning bolt, a light bulb, and an F for Frankie on it. And then we have this blue camera purse, which again is the same mold as their core Frankie had, except they had it in pink and this one is in blue. But just like that one, it has a spot at the top for a photo, and this is the one that comes with this set. Let's see if we can get a zoom on it so we can see. So once we have it in focus, we can see Frankie, Draculaura, Claudine, Laguna, Cleo, and Deuce with their hand in the circle, which is most of our original cast. We also had Toralei and Gulia right away, but other than that, this is the original lineup. And then it has MH down there with a lightning bolt and a Stitch. And then of course they come with the snacks for the meeting, which are still very heavily character themed, but we have one for each of the characters. I think this design for Claudine we've seen before, the moon chips. but I don't have all of the little accessories memorized. I do know like all of their like outfits and stuff like that. If I were to see individual outfit pieces, I could tell you where they came from, but the snacks and stuff like that, I don't always have super memorized. But we have these WATT chips that to me kind of look like they're meant to be like tortilla chip, like lime tortilla chips. I like the little face on them. And then we have these Boo like cookies or crackers, which remind me a lot of the animal crackers that we had in a different Draculaura, but they are in a bag rather than those were being in a box. But interestingly enough, there's no print on the back of these, which again, not a big deal. I'm not really in it for the accessories, but it's kind of interesting because they typically do have prints on the back of those. And then we have some drinks, which again are the 3 themes of Frankie, Draculaura, and Claudine. And again, I don't know if we've seen these before, but we have Eclipse Sip, Zip Sip, and Drip Sip. And obviously, like you could tell, like this one's for Claudine, this one is Frankie, and then this one is Draculaura. These are printed all the way around, although it is just a sticker on there. But that is how they've always done the cans, so that's no different than usual. And then I don't know if we've had this pen other places, but we did just recently get a pen also with the new Frankie. So obviously that one would have been a reuse from this mold, except that actually has a squelette on the top of it. So it's not an exact copy of this, but it's the same kind of idea. I don't know if any other characters have pens, so correct me if I'm wrong. It may have come with one of the like Fear Book sets. Same thing with this clipboard. I don't know if that's in any of the Fear Book ones, but this one is neon green with a MH on the back as well as a spider pattern. And then it says Monster High Welcome Meeting, to-do list, focus, new member intro, check, and then snack break has not been checked, but again, we have all the snacks for it. Then this here is actually a sticker. I already tried it. You can peel it off of the back there. And then this is Frankie's jacket. It is silvery. It has a faux zipper on the front as well as these really cute, like, they're supposed to be patches, but they're just kind of printed on. But it's nice. They do feel like they're actually printed into this shiny material, so it doesn't feel like they're going to like peel off too easily. The back is blank. It's just a shiny silver. The sleeves are white with black and white stitches all down them. I will try this on them in a moment. And then we have the poster, which I was correct. There was another copy of this poster, much larger in the back, which I did show during the unboxing, but it is exactly the same. It says Monster High, be yourself, be unique, be a monster, and then in the same characters that were in the photo. Now, it does appear to be all of their core dolls, except for this Frankie is the welcoming committee Frankie, but all of the other characters in this picture are dressed in their original core looks, which again would have been out at the time this originally was supposed to come out. It says welcoming committee meeting at 3 o'clock. Free snacks. And then the back is just blank. It is just a flimsy material. And then their last, but of course definitely not least accessory, is this Watsy. They do appear to be in the original pose that Watsy came in, which was this kind of seated pose minus the wings, but they are painted a little bit more closely to the core refresh design where it has this more metallic body. But then they have blue hair and this little black patch on the ear. They have yellow makeup over one eye and no makeup over the other. And then they have this adorable little rainbow bandana around their neck. And that is all for Frankie's accessories. So now we can go on to the doll themselves. So for their hairstyle, I do really like that it is actually quite elaborate. So we have this really pretty braid going from the front of their head to about halfway down the back. Obviously it doesn't go halfway down the hair, but halfway down the back of their head. And then it is tied off and flows into the rest of their hair very nicely. Of course, I always love braids that have multiple different colored hair in it because it really shows off the different colors. They have a side part. The other part is a light blue and black streak, but most of their hair is white, which is pretty typical for Frankie. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. It does go to just past their knees and is a bit wavy. Obviously, it's a bit messy from being in box, but it does feel nice and soft. Now, their earrings are recolors of the first Skulltimate Secrets one. I can't remember if that had a sub-name to it, but this would be from the original Skulltimate Secrets. Those we had in a bright green, but it's the same mold, just in a silver this time. And then they have black lipstick, which is so exciting. I love when they give any of the characters, but especially Frankie, darker lips. And then, because actually, for the longest time, I wanted to do a custom Frankie with black lips. So this would have been nice a while back when I wanted to do that custom. I never ended up making the custom outfit that I wanted to go with it, but it's still okay. I still am happy to finally have one with black lips, because even their core refresh has dark blue, not black. So this is something I've wanted for a long time. And then we have blue eyeshadow, yellow eyeshadow, and pink eyeshadow all around their eye on both sides. They have their regular silver bolts. Their top is a halter top with a tie coming off of it, so just a white top with a blue and pink stripe down here around the bottom. So again, sticking with the trans colors that we usually see for Frankie. And then a black tie on top because of their androgynous look that I very much love. That they are very feminine, but also very masculine, and do a very good job of pulling those two design elements together. They have these really cool armbands that are pink, black, white, and yellow, which may be a reference to a flag that is part of the Ace spectrum, which kind of refers to being more interested in having very deep platonic relationships over very deep romantic relationships. We're of course huge Clanky stans here, but I can definitely see that being the part of the spectrum that Frankie lies on, in being not really interested necessarily in the romantic part of it, but more in just the deep connection part. Then on their pants, they are black with yellow, pink, and blue stripes. One side goes almost down to the shoe, and then the other side stops just above the knee in order to show off their leg, which is very typical with a Frankie design. They either have mismatched shoes or mismatched legs of their pants, unless, of course, like the beach one where they're both wearing shorts, but otherwise there's usually something there to kind of show off the leg. And then this piece is actually, as far as I can tell, unique to this Frankie, which is a triple layered belt. Of course, that's not super unique to their style, but this specific mold I don't recognize from anywhere else. We have the Frankie skelet here on the front, as well as then, like I said, two more layers. We have the studded belt that's kind of very early 2000s. We have a second thinner studded belt, and then we have a chain belt around the bottom with a lightning bolt hanging off of it. And then last but not least is their shoes, which are yellow, pink, and blue. It says be unique, be yourself. I really love these high platform boots on them with this super cute graffiti, and then the bottom of their shoes are just lightning bolts. There is a lot of cool sculpted design in them, as well as this really nice black painting on the front. It's nice to see some details in their shoes, because a lot of the times I feel like we get just kind of solid color shoes, so it's really nice to see all those painted in details. I'm gonna go ahead and put on their jacket so we can see how that looks, and then we'll finish up the video. So now that Frankie has their jacket on, I just want to talk really quick about the fact that they were $32. That was not the price I was expecting for them to be, because I don't think that was what they originally were charging for them. But at the same time, I really shouldn't be surprised, because I know the price of even the core dolls has started to go up, and this one is probably considered, you know, to have extra accessories than usual, seeing as they have, you know, 3 foods instead of just 1 snack. And then they have the poster and the sticker and all that kind of stuff. So this is considered to be a little bit above just a basic core doll, but I'm more than happy to pay that. I know it's just a doll and it's just made by a corporation that just wants to make money, but Frankie, sorry, I didn't think I was gonna cry about that. But Frankie as a character just means a lot to me, and to have a version of this doll that really represents me even more, especially in times when being who I am feels more scary than ever, to have a representation that is so unapologetically themselves just means so much to me right now. And so I'm so happy to have them, especially after waiting over a year to actually finally get this doll. So I definitely, if you are a Frankie stan like I am, I definitely recommend this doll. Especially, again, it's very, very subtle. It's not like overly everything is rainbows, but there's enough. There's enough in Watsy, there's enough in their backpack. They have the rainbow on their jacket, and like I said, their arm sleeves, that just like very subtle rainbow, or that very subtle pride flag just is everything. Especially since it's kind of obscure, and I may not be trans myself, but I still find that Frankie just very much represents me and the way that I go through the world. And so, sorry, I had to take a moment there because I couldn't stop crying over what probably is just a silly doll. But like I said, in the times that we're in right now, and when it feels so terrifying to just be myself, to have something to represent me, it means a lot. And I know that they got canceled, literally, and got pushed back and seemed like they were never going to come out, but they persevered and they overcame, just like we all will, just like we all have to do. And I just feel like this is a physical manifestation of that we're gonna be okay, we're gonna get through it, even if we have to wait until next year. We'll be okay. And I know this is kind of an odd video, but I hope you still enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the tone shift, but I don't really know how else to end this. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon in the next one. And I hope you find as much love out there as I have, even in this crazy world. So thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you soon. Bye.